Welcome to the Flip Classroom, a quick start guide, a little guide on how to get started planning your Flip Classroom. So our learning goal today is we want you to be thinking about how you're going to plan out a sequence of Flip Classroom lessons. This is what my plan, by the way, looks like. Um, it's all handwritten and it's all boom. It's written out and it's very structured before we move on to it. It doesn't have to be. Some people don't. Some people like to essentially get their syllabus and bang, bang, bang. I personally think you'd be better off with a bit more structure, and we'll see. We'll talk about why in a little bit. Our success criteria, so what you should be able to do at the end of this, is to be able to plan out a short sequence of flip lessons with the focus on the classroom activities. We'll mostly spend our time talking about the videos, but the classroom activities are stuff you do as a teacher already. Um, and by the end of this, you should be able to plan out a few lessons and see how you go. Just to jump in and get practice. It'll get easier the more you do it, like everything else. Why we wanted you to flip? Why should you flip? Basically, it increases student-teacher relationships. There is not a student in my classroom today that I don't speak to every lesson. And that is because of the flipped classroom. I don't spend as much time up the front. I've got more time to interact with the kids, and the relationships have gotten better. We spend much more time on higher order thinking. We now have the Bloom's taxonomy, which we're used to seeing as a triangle. For our class, tends to look more like a diamond. If we're being realistic, we're not still spending all our time on creating. It's not like that became the top end of the triangle, the largest part. But we are spending a lot more time in the analyzing and applying sections than we were before. Improved relationships within the class. As I said, I talk to every student, and the students work together more because there's less of them looking at me and more of them looking at each other trying to solve problems. As our new Lord and Savior in teaching, Professor John Hattie, says, it's all about feedback. That feedback to the students is a big thing, and the feedback needs to be relevant and timely. And with the flipped classroom, what I'm finding is that, and what most people are finding, is that you are correcting things on the fly. You are giving students feedback as they are doing it because you are walking around helping them. To quote everyone who's ever talked about the flipped classroom, you have moved from the sage on the stage to the guide on the side. It's much more of a coaching role, a facilitator, and that's a cool thing. Basically, I was bored talking to the class, and I imagine that a lot of you are bored talking at classes as well. It often feels as though they are turning up to watch me work. The flipped classroom is not easier on your kids. It's not easier on you either, but it's not easier on your kids. A lot of them, it is harder work. They'll be doing more, and they won't be able to get away with just sitting there doing nothing. Basically, I want to have more time in the classroom to push the students who are more capable, and depending on where you stand, I really wanted to spend more time supporting the students who were struggling, and that's what I found. When you flip, differentiation is built into it, and that's a wonderful thing. So let's get into planning your flip lessons. First off is the classroom activities. This is the key thing. This is the reason you're doing it. You're going to spend more time on the classroom activities, less time lecturing at your class. That's a cool thing. It is the first thing you plan. The first thing you plan are your classroom activities. What do I want the students to do in the classroom? When I look at the average kid, what do I want her to be able to do? When I look at the top kid, what do I want her to be able to do? And the bottom kid, what do I want her to be able to do? That's where you're aiming at. Then you start planning your videos. It's very important that you realize that videos must always serve the classroom lesson. It is always the priority. And then we'll look at the types of videos. There are several different types you can go for. There's the screencast, which is this. That's this very simple. It's like a slideshow and me talking over top of it. There's a bit of scribbling on there with the stylus. That's this doohickey. You don't need that at all. You know how Google Slides, PowerPoint, all that sort of stuff works. Demonstration. I'm a science teacher. Some of my flip videos are me showing them how to set up the equipment in an experiment. You can do direct to camera with a whiteboard behind you. There is a YouTuber called Katie Gimbar, and that is how she runs her class, and it's amazing. A lot of science works that way because it's much easier for a science teacher to be able to scribble on a whiteboard than it is to scribble, also to set up a PowerPoint. And if you want to look up someone amazing, I suggest Joel Speranza, and he has set up what is called a lightboard thing. And he was the first person I saw really do that well. Didn't invent it, but he's the first one I saw go nuts with it. Then you can also just record your lessons with a class and upload that. I would suggest not doing that. That leads to very, very long videos, which will get to being a problem later on. There are other considerations. Okay, where do you host them? YouTube. That's where you're watching this one. TeacherTube is like YouTube, but for schools, and has nothing inappropriate on this. So that's also, and some schools won't let you use YouTube. I don't know why, but they won't. And there's ClickView. ClickView rules. ClickView is awesome, and it's super interactive as well, which is something the other two, you need third-party things for that to happen with the other two, but ClickView is awesome if you've got access to it. Platform. How are you going to do it? Are you going to put on the LMS, whatever your school's learning management system is, like Moodle, Google Classroom, whatever you want to use, or whatever you are using, or you're going to put it on a personal website or blog? That's not ideal. That's what we do. So, there you go. Technology. You need to think about what you're going to need and what the students are going to need. Plain and simple, you can do this with a laptop. That's it. Nothing else. Just your computer. Most computers have a microphone and a camera, webcam built in. So there you go. Who makes the videos? This is important. Ideally, it'll be you. You are their teacher. You are the one they have the relationship with. But it's a big undertaking. You're going to get busy. So there are other places. Khan Academy, TED Ed. YouTube has millions of videos. Some of them are even educationally relevant. So, now we get into the video tips. Short, unlike this video. One concept per video. You are aiming these most likely at teenagers or young adults, depending on who your audience is. Know your audience. If it's for like a Year 7 class, you're not going to make a 12-minute video. If it's for a Year 12 class, you're going to try and avoid making a 12-minute video. One idea per video. Make multiple videos for one homework session if you need to. Just have individual concepts. Go, bang, there's this concept. So this is how you do a mole calculation. Second video, this is an example of it. Third video, this is how you do mole calculations in a practical setting. Those are chemistry things. You could put those 3 videos together. They're 3 minutes each. They're a real-world example from mine. They're 3 minutes each. That's 9 minutes worth of videos for homework for a Year 12 class. They will watch 3 short videos much more effectively than they'll watch one long video. Simple. The classroom lesson's still the important part. They will bring questions to you. That's fine, but you want your videos to be simple. Have a learning goal and success criteria for each video. The students need to know what they're going to get out of it and what they need to be able to do at the end. Doesn't have to be perfect. Make them as quickly as you can. It's a lot of work. So start with one class and just punch them out. Make them quick. The student teach the absolute fastest you can, because differentiation is in the video. Students can pause, students can rewind when they miss stuff, and they will. They'll have to, because they're all going to miss different things, and they'll go back over it if you teach them to do it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Make them quickly. You will make mistakes. You can correct that. Be yourself. It's about relationships. You are their teacher. They know who you are. They know what you sound like. When you hear your voice coming out of the speakers, see, there's a mistake. I'm leaving it in. When you hear your voice coming out of the speakers, that's what you sound like. You need to be okay with that. Everyone else is. Your face, that's what you look like. Be you. Talk like you. That's the language of the classroom. That's what they're used to. And now we've got a bonus tip. Never teach the video in the class. So if you've got 3 or 4 kids, or half your class doesn't watch the video, don't reteach it for them. Make them go to the back of the room, watch the video, watch it on their phones, watch it on their iPads, whatever they've got. Have a spare computer if you can. If you've got an old laptop at home, bring it in. don't reteach it. It's no good for their sake or their students' sake. If you, oh, there's a mistake. The things over the text doesn't matter. If you reteach it, the students won't learn. Like they won't. The students who didn't watch it won't. They'll next time they won't watch it again, and the other kids will opt out because if you're going to waste class time reteaching it, why are they going to watch the videos? Be firm. Stick with it. It's not easier or less work for anyone, but it's worth it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. We'll get back to you as quick as we can. I hope that was helpful. I hope you feel as though you can start. Send us links to your videos. Put them in the comments. We will love to check it out for 2 reasons. 1, we might even give you some feedback. Probably will. 2, we like to learn stuff as we're going. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. And any teacher, I don't care how inexperienced she is or how experienced she is, still has a lot to learn. So, let us know what you're doing. Show us what you've got. See you next time. Bye now.